Okay, so we have established in the first part that there is something that you have been building, whether this be like something that you've conspired up here. It could be something that is already in the making, but good karma is coming in. And this is a week of just sheer success and moving on. Okay, now we've got that bit out of the road. Because the thing is, the amount of information that comes through all in one go to begin with, I wish I could do more than 10 minutes on here at a time. Because I feel like you have to try and fit like a drastic amount of things, a drastic amount of things in a bit of a short space of time. I'm a very thorough reader. I like to do things properly. So I like to give as much evidence as I can, you know. Let me just get one more. Okay. So, Two of Swords on the bottom, a lot of planning. I mean, yes, the Two of Swords can be like choosing not to see something, but I find that it's also almost about sort of going inwards and conspiring things, you know, like putting things into place. So we've got the Ace of Swords, the Lovers, the Queen of Cups, the Knight of Pentacles, and the Ten of Pentacles. Okay, again, there seems to be more pentacles than anything in this. Right, so self-love, right? Self-love is extremely important. It is important to always put yourself first. I know I'm saying it again today, but I just want to make sure that I'm getting that point across, because above everything and anything, if you don't love yourself and you don't pour into yourself, then you aren't going to succeed in anything. Your relationships will not succeed, because the thing is, again, if we're talking about relationships, both of you have to put the same amount of work, effort and energy in, right? But if you don't, it becomes lopsided, and that's where problems start. So literally, I feel like self-love is a massive all-rounder, you know? But healing your emotional side, right, I'm going to say it, I can feel that there is some part of your history where you were treated very, very badly. Now, this could be romantic, it could be platonic, within family, whatever. But one thing I'm going to say is that the love that you are pouring in yourself is actually bringing you to the Ace of Swords, which I love the Ace of Swords, and I also love the way that this has been interpreted here, because you see all the stairs. It reminds me a little bit of you know, those shells that are like swirly and they have the long ends and you can hear the sea. It reminds me of that. Anyway, this staircase, see how it's all the way to the light. Yeah. And actually, really, what I feel this card is trying to say is that going inside and accepting and learning your mentality is one thing, but then sort of like moving through all the things that you've been through, all the things, because don't forget, our brains are constantly on the go, even when we're asleep. Do you know what I mean? There's always things going on. So we're absorbing all of that because our brains are like sponges. And to then have to sieve through it all to be able to, you know, move on and be successful in life is not as easy as what it looks. I personally think it's it's a journey that's not for the weak. Do you get what I mean? Like, you've got to find a lot of courage to be able to do it, and to do it honestly to yourself, because we all try and hide behind things, we all use excuses, etc. So to actually sort of pull back from that and be like, no, I need to take accountability for this. I need to think about this thing that happened to me 15 years ago. Do you get what I mean? And this is why self-love is so important, because these go hand in hand with each other. They really, really do. Now, Knight of Pentacles and the Ten of Pentacles. Yes, this journey may have been relatively slow, but do you know what? Slow and steady wins the race. And it really, really does. It really does. And, you know, when you're going through even a spiritual journey, it's, you have to be really brave. And I think that doing it at a slow pace is the most clever thing to do, in terms of you being able to sort of keep on top of everything that's going on in your sort of physical life, and then what's going on up here all at the same time. It can be really overwhelming. But to sort of like end that point on the Ten of Pentacles, it's like the Ten of Pentacles reminds me, yeah, see, the Five of Wands and the Nine of Wands. Don't forget that all the things in life that have threw you down and chucked you to the curb is exactly what resilience has come from it. You know, at the end of the day, we always, it doesn't matter what the situation is, we always learn something. And the one thing we do is learn a lot of resilience. Because actually, in the start of my journey, yeah, I might have been gobby. I was gobby. But when it come down to actually having resilience and sort of standing strong, I couldn't do it. I literally couldn't do it. I didn't have that resilience because I was so riddled in trauma. Do you know what I mean? And I didn't understand myself. I didn't know who I was. Whereas I've sort of accepted the difficult times. I've accepted how it has been a very difficult path. But actually, I've gained a lot of resilience. And this resilience is what gives you success. Okay? Because that way you're not second guessing yourself at all. You know what's what and who's who. Do you know what I mean? The Four of Swords. You are healing. And you know what? I feel like in terms of healing, I feel like the messy side of it is dealt with. Two of Wands and the Three of Wands. See how there's some that are like one number and then it's the next number, and that is another sign of moving forwards. Sorry, I've got a really dry mouth. It's my bloody medication. It does my head in. So by doing this and by healing, it's what's giving you the chance to stand there gracefully and think of the future and put future things in play. You know, you can start putting things into place now, because that way it's not going to be so overwhelming when, you know, the manifestation sort of comes through and you're like, oh my God, I've got all this stuff to do. So start now and believe in yourself and believe that you are worthy of this. And that way you are coming into acceptance of your manifestation, and you are also making your job less stressful and overwhelming. You want this to be a positive experience. So start now. You have to start now, and you have to start somewhere. And, you know, from what I can see, I know damn well I'm going to be getting messages soon. I know it. Tell it with all these stories of what's happened. Anyway, I'm going to get some oracle. Go to the next part.